Parents, if your teen is studying for the SAT over the summer, they're most likely making one of these common SAT mistakes. In this short video, I'll show you exactly how my students avoid these common SAT pitfalls and how your teen can do it as well. For those of you guys that don't know me yet, my name is Jared Nguyen. I'm the founder and director of GeometryGurus.com. And at this point in my career, I've helped hundreds of students increase their SAT score so that they can go to their dream colleges and qualify for scholarships. With that being said, let's get straight into it, family. The number one mistake that I see students make while studying for the SAT is that they lack a plan. They lack a structure. Let me put it this way, families. If I told you that at the end of a rainbow, there is a pot of gold, how are you going to get there without the map? How are you going to get there if you don't even know where to start? Okay. There are over 64 SAT concepts on every single SAT, which means that without a structured plan, your teen is going to be completely lost and confused on even where to start, and it's even harder for them to stay consistent. With that being said, so many students, they don't even know what their biggest SAT weaknesses are. So they don't know what their biggest SAT weaknesses are, they're not going to be able to laser in and target those areas, which means that they're going to waste valuable time doing things that they're already good at, but most importantly, just doing things that just aren't going to improve their score. Okay, so what do we need to do with this? We need to diagnose and enhance. Now, Jared, what does that mean? That means we need to figure out which of the 64 SAT concepts is your teen spending too much time on and which one are they missing consistently. So essentially, what are their biggest weaknesses? How we do that is we start with a comprehensive diagnostic to understand which of those weaknesses can we be exposed right now. So then once we understand those weaknesses, we can give them a laser targeted plan to attack just those areas. Okay. And that actually leads us to step number 2. The second mistake that I see students make is that they just randomly practice. Now, what do I mean by that? Again, so many students, because they don't know their weaknesses, they just do problems for the sake of doing problems. I never have any of my students do work unless they 100% need to do the work. Okay? So what we need to do here instead is we need to apply and practice. Now, so many students, they treat the SAT just like any other test, like any other exam that they take in school. And they neglect the strategies. They neglect the techniques that they need to use in order to dominate the exam. So with the apply and practice, once we understand which of the 64 concepts they're spending too much time on and which ones they're getting wrong consistently, this is where we give them real SAT problems that mimic the same types of problems that they're missing right now. Okay? So that way their work is intentional. And we break down bad habits and we build them new ones. Once we build them new habits that are good, we can lather on top of those solid foundations. Okay? So that's why this step is so important. Now, not the number one, but the number 3 reason why I see so many students fail is because they fear the exam completely. Okay? Imagine this. Imagine you go and you're a Broadway performer. Okay? How confident would you be if you did not do dress rehearsals? That's how the majority of people handle SAT prep right now. They go into the exam and they don't do any dress rehearsal. So then they just completely bomb it. Okay? So what we need to do here is we need to simulate success. Because what happens is because the pressure of the exam, because, if you think about it, the SAT determines what college you go to and indirectly chooses your career path, right? Based on where you go to college. So for the students at this point in their life, 16, 17 years old, they're like, oh my God, this test is like worth so much. So they're so scared of it, right? So it prevents them from either being consistent or it just prevents them from starting practice at all, right? But even when they get to the test, they're like, oh my God, I'm so scared of the exam. So they make silly mistakes or they run out of time. And then what happens, right, is they lose tens to sometimes even hundreds of points on the exam just due to fear itself. Okay. So they can't actually demonstrate what they really know on the SAT concepts. So for simulate success, what we need to do for that is we need to work in a test-like environment, no matter what it is that your teen is doing. Okay. It needs to simulate the exact same format and the difficulty of the real thing. Now, the way we do this, right, is we use materials that are slightly harder than the actual SAT. So then that way, they're not going up in difficulty, they're going down in difficulty, or at least to the same side difficulty, and they're not completely psyched out by the time they go to the exam, okay? Now, if the Broadway performer analogy wasn't good enough for you, now, how many of you guys have student athletes, right? You ever heard the phrase, hey, you practice the way you play the way you practice? That's exactly how we want to treat the SAT as well, right? We want to clock in, clock out. It's just any other day for us, okay? Now, that's it. Those are the 3 biggest mistakes that every single student makes. If you guys want a step-by-step plan on how your team can apply this for yourself, all you need to do is go ahead and DM me or comment below this video and I'll reach out back to you, okay? With that being said, have a great rest of your day. I hope this video was helpful. I'll see you guys in the next one.